What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a couple of the most entertaining games from last night's NBA action. So let's get right into it. The first game that I want to go over with you guys and was a really entertaining game to watch, was really crazy, was Raptors versus Cavs. This was at Toronto, so Cleveland went to Toronto, got a great W won by 1 point, 102 to 101. Just a crazy game. They were down pretty much like the entire game, came from behind victory. Well, I don't think they were they weren't down the entire game, but it was close the entire game. And then late in the fourth quarter, the Cavs fought back and was able to steal the game. Darius Garland hit two free throws to put him up, and the final play was crazy. OG Anunoby tried to get a bucket on Jared Allen, did a little step back on him, but Jared Allen stood his ground. He's a great defender, so stood his ground, was able to kind of disrupt the shot attempt, and Anunoby missed it, but Scotty Barnes came in for the tip, and it was so close to going in. It was crazy. Like, he just tried to tip it back up, and he didn't have enough strength on it, enough push on it, so it didn't go in. But it would have been crazy if Scotty was able to tip that in, because it would have counted, and it would have just been a really demoralizing loss for the Cavs, really, because they were up and they really fought back really hard. They played very hard basketball in the last 3 minutes, and for them to lose that game in that fashion would have been really demoralizing. But again, Scotty Barnes, his tipping attempt didn't go in, so Cavaliers got the dub, and it was just a really gritty win for the Cavs. This team's very gritty. Like, they just have a very tough team, great defensive players, and they just grind out really tough wins. And I think that's what I really like about the team, is they don't have the most skilled players. I don't know if they'll have an all-star this year, but they really just grind the entire game. They don't let up, and they were able to grind this one out and got a really nice win. So great win for the Cavaliers. That was just really awesome to see. Just how great they played as a team, coming back, fought really hard. So hope that they can carry that great win into the next few games. So looking forward to seeing what they can do, because I feel like they could be a playoff team, play-in team. So yeah, just looking forward to seeing what kind of season they could have. Now, another game that I want to go over with you guys and talk about is, where is it? Yes, Kings and Hornets. Kings and Hornets it wasn't a close game at all. Kings won 140 to 110, but I just really wanted to go over this game with you guys just because of how well the Kings played last night. They played very great basketball. On the Hornets side, LaMelo dropped 24, 3 and 13, so got a double-double. Gordon Hayward dropped 25, 2 and 2. So those were the top two guys for their squad. The rest of the team just didn't step up at all. The rest of their starters, especially Miles Bridges, who's having a great start to the season, only had 10 points. So their supporting cast, some guys that they really lean on for production, good, production, they didn't really do their job. So that was really tough for them. But on to the Kings, man, did they play a great game. They had 3 players over 20 points and 7 players in double figures, which is crazy. Buddy Hield had a team high with 26 points off the bench. So really great game for Buddy Hield. He made 8 3-pointers, 8 threes. So he was really shooting it really well. We all know Buddy Hield's a fantastic shooter. Participated in the 3-point contest, I believe. I forget what year, but he was definitely in it. He might have won too. I'm not sure, I forget, but he was definitely in the 3-point contest one year. So we all know he's a great shooter, but 8 threes is just ridiculous. Another player that had a really great game, Rashaan Holmes, 23, 20, and 2. 23 points and 20 rebounds. I said it in a couple videos ago, Rashaan Holmes is one of the top. He's one of the most underrated big men in the NBA, and he showed that last night. Unbelievable game. 23 and 20 is ridiculous. That's an unbelievable game for him. Really helped out the team a lot. De'Aaron Fox dropped 21, 3, and 9. Played good defense. You know, he did his thing. Harrison Barnes did his thing. Tyrese Halliburton did his thing. Davion Mitchell did his thing. He was really going off. Davion Mitchell's a really good young player, really good rookie. Think he can make a really big difference on this team, and he did a lot last night. Really did a huge, thing for the team. Really helped them out tremendously. Hit 4 threes. And I didn't really think Davion Mitchell was that good of a shooter, but 4 threes is really good. He shot 4 for 5, so really good shooting game from Davion Mitchell. I don't know, maybe he can keep it up. I'm not sure. I don't watch him enough to really know if, he's that good of a shooter, but I know he shoots good mid-range, but again, don't really watch him enough to know if he's that good of a 3-point shooter. But hey, if he continues to shoot like he did last night, hey, he's going to be a pretty good NBA player for many years to come. So yeah, just an unbelievable win for the Kings. Really just blew the Hornets out of the water. And the Hornets are not a scrub team. I just think the Hornets, they didn't really get the production they're used to getting from some of their better players like Miles Bridges and all that. But, sometimes you're going to have those nights. And that was one of those nights for the Hornets, just a night where players just couldn't really get it going. And that's unfortunate, but you got to move past it, and I think they will. But yeah, just a great win for the Kings. Wanted to shout them out. And the last game that I wanted to go over with you guys is Nets versus Pistons. KD really took over in the final, stretch of the game. He hit the dagger for the Nets. Kind of just put the, sword right into him, ended it. That was just, he silenced them. The Pistons were trying to come back, and KD was like, nope, you're not coming back, and just silenced the Pistons' hopes of winning the game. So that was a really good game for the Nets. KD dropped 29, 10, and 5. So good game for him. Got his teammates involved, also rebounded really well, and we all know he's going to do his thing scoring-wise. Probably the greatest scoring talent of all time, so we all know he's going to do his thing in that facet of the game, so we're used to that. James Harden, 13, 10, and 10, triple-double, 2 steals and 1 block for James Harden as well. So even though he didn't score as much, he didn't score very high, he still really contributed to the game. And man, I talked about James Harden with, him not being able to score as much. I talked about that in a video, and man, that's continuing. He's not really scoring that much anymore. I think one game he scored 30 a couple nights ago, but besides that, still between 10 and 20 points. So not scoring as much as he's used to, and that has to be frustrating, but he definitely contributed in other ways last night, so you love to see that. Blake Griffin, 13, 5-3, stuff like that. Lamarcus Aldridge had a pretty good game off the bench for the Nets. 16 and 5, 16 points, 5 rebounds. So he had a really good game off the bench, really contributed, and I think he was probably one of the biggest reasons why they won that game, because the other stars on the Nets didn't really, do anything crazy. So they needed somebody to, step up. And Lamarcus Aldridge really did that. So great game for the Nets. Oh my God. I didn't even, my video, there was like a video on my screen playing. That's weird. Yeah, so great game for the Nets. Just great gritty win, because the Pistons were trying to come back. It was a close game throughout, but again, just KD did his thing and was able to just put the nail in the coffin and just end the Pistons' hopes of winning the game. So great game for the Nets, great win, gritty. Hopefully they can keep this up, and I don't know what's gonna happen with Kyrie. I think there's stuff going on with the person running for mayor in New York City, or like the new mayor is like, people were asking if he's gonna change the vaccine mandate, and he won't. There was some skepticism and some optimism in the beginning that maybe he would change the vaccine mandate, but he made it clear that he's not going to change it. So Kyrie Irving, people were like, oh my God, Kyrie Irving might be able to play. He might be able to play because the mayor might change the mandate. But that kind of just, went away. All that like kind of talk and excitement went away as soon as the mayor said that he won't be changing the mandate. So unfortunately, there's still a lot of, we still don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie. And I really think they need him. I do think that the Nets need Kyrie to win this title. I really do, because there's a lot of teams that are playing great basketball, like the Heat, the Bucks, the Knicks, teams like that are playing really great basketball in the Eastern Conference. And so I don't know how good the Nets are going to be in the playoffs. I don't know how far they're going to make it, with the Sixers too in the East, and, a lot of other young teams like the Hornets, the Bulls, the Cavs, just young teams that are really gritty. I don't know how the Nets are really going to fare against those teams in the playoffs. I don't know how far they're going to make it. So I think they need Kyrie if they want to make the NBA Finals and win a title. But until then, we're really going to just have to wait and see and just observe how the Nets play without Kyrie. So hopefully the Nets can kind of get it together and play like the team that we all know they can play. Even without Kyrie, we know they could be a fantastic team, but they're really not playing at that level right now. So even though they are winning games, they're 6-3. They're not playing at the level that we know that they could play at. Like, they're the four seed in the East, still winning games, but again, we know they could be better. So looking forward to seeing what goes on with the Nets moving forward. And yeah, go ahead and click on the video on your screen right now. That's my previous video, so go ahead and check that one out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.